Good evening. It's Tuesday, although it feels like a Monday after the long bank holiday weekend. Not that I had much of a bank holiday weekend, but you know what I mean. Hope you're all well. I've just started boiling a kettle to make a cup of tea. So I'll just have to live without a cup of tea this time. Anyway, happy Easter to you all, and I hope you're all keeping well. I had a wee notion of just making something with my, just doing something tonight, having a good blether. Leslie's watching. Hello, Leslie. I've just taken pictures of your wee mouse. Actually, I think you'll like her. Anyway, and Kirsty's here as well. Hello, Kirsty. Now, I'm trying to sort of read this from sideways on, so I must take a picture of my setup actually so you can see what it looks like, because this new stand, it basically means that I can have my phone sitting directly above my workbench, because there's my hands, hello, which is great, but it means I'm kind of reading everything sideways. So, Dawn, hello, lovely to see you too. Oh, we've got lots of people here too. Sally Ann's here as well, hello. Do you know, it's just always lovely to speak to you. It really is. I love the group. I really do love the group, but there's no substitute for knowing that we're all connected, albeit at a distance and all the rest of it. But we are here at this time and this place, sadly without a cup of tea at the moment. But anyway, so I hope you all had a fabulous weekend. I'm in two minds of what to make tonight. Two ideas have presented myself. Do you remember I said that I had received, was it last week, a box of goodies from Rachel Pettit, who made the wonderful autumn trees and the winter trees? Well, she's made some gorgeous spring trees, kind of Easter ones. So you're gonna have a sneaky peek of those. And what I might do is make a little mouse or a bunny or something to sit on the trees, because I've got about 10 of them, I think, so far, but there is room for getting more, depending on what you think of them. So, right, let me just move those bits of clay here, and let me introduce you. Let's see if I can get this right. I've been trying to get the lighting right in here, but it's not ideal, because if I have my work light overhead, tell me what that looks like, because that's how I normally have my work lights, but obviously it's reflecting. It's reflecting in there. Actually, are you seeing this side on or upside down or back to front or something? Because ideally I'd want to have it so that this is horizontal, but it may be vertical. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that's better. But these are the little trees that she's done. She's done a fantastic, just gorgeous colours with pastel pink and blue and sort of or yellowy green. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So sideways. So you're seeing me that way, is that right? So I don't know. It is vertical, right? Okay, I'm getting confused because I'm looking at the screen from the side. Not from the, my phone is sideways to me, if you like. Anyway, I'll find out when I replay this. Lorna's here as well. Hello, Lorna. All right, and Kirsty's saying that the light doesn't interfere at all. That's good to know, because it will make a difference, I think, certainly for me making. That's the other one, because I use IKEA, like angle poise lamps with natural daylight bulbs so that I can see. Right, okay, we'll leave it like that. And here we go. These are Rachel. Now, is that the right way up for you guys? I don't know. That's the right way up for me, if that makes sense. So let's see what's happening. And I just see that it's just, I can hardly speak. I've not spoken to anybody today. Apart from Enrique about like 12 hours ago. So forgive me, I'm just kind of like, blah, blah, like talking over myself at the moment, falling over my words as I do, because it's been a busy weekend as well. I have been singing. I was singing on Wednesday night, Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So my voice could do with that cup of tea, which is just waiting to be made up at the moment. Anyway, on with the show. The other thing that I had in mind was making a kiwi. Now, I want to make an Easter bunny kiwi. Don't ask me why. Actually, I do know why. I'll tell you why. We were watching Hop last night. I've never seen it before. I'd never heard of it before, but this is a Russell Brand thing about the Easter Bunny. So you might all have seen it. I thought it was all a bit daft, but I think Carlos the Easter chick was by far and away the best character in it, I have to say. And perhaps I shouldn't have been rooting for the baddie, but anyway, he was very good. Anyway, so yes, an Easter Bunny Kiwi is what I had in my mind. So, but you get to see whichever way round these should go. I will figure it out. I can see actually, Alison, you're saying that it needs rotating through 90 degrees clockwise to be the right way up for us. Oh, right. Okay, I can do that. Let's see. Is that better? Is that better? Can you see more? Oh, right. Because I can actually do this. This is such a clever stand that I have. Is that better? Am I sort of right? Okay. I think, oh no. No, I nearly switched everybody off there. That's not any good. Right, so we're good this way round. That's fine then. Okay, you won't be able to see so much of my hands, I don't think. All right, lots of yeses. Excellent. Love it. But this is better for you guys. Right, superb. Easter Bunny Kiwi it is then, I think, really. I haven't made a Kiwi for such a long time, so why not? And I could just see him and he's just kind of going, me, I want to be an Easter Bunny. Oh, that's what I was saying, telling you about the Hop film. Yeah, there was a lot of, what shall I say? There were a lot of parts of that film. They weren't so hot in the details, you know, like, because if Fred O'Hare was going to be a part-time Easter Bunny, then he should have had the ears and the teeth and the anyway, I better just be quiet about this. Right. Oh, there's something in the camera. What's that? Where? Is that, that's me. That's my finger, by the way. All right. Well, shout if you can actually point out what it is. I'm just going to say hello. We've got Ange here as well, who's sitting in a car park. It's obviously the best place to go and watch one of my Brew and a Blethers. So welcome, Ange. Good to see you. Loretta's here as well. Excellent. Nicole's here from Scotland. I'm going up there tomorrow. Just for a flying visit, just up to Glasgow to hand deliver one of the March scenes. And of course, you'll have seen the April scenes is singular. There's one April scene and it's going up. The Easter tree is going up for auction from tomorrow. A 3-day auction on the new eBid platform, which I really like, actually. It seems to be working quite well. Anyway, back to the Easter Kiwi. Do you know, I just have to do it. So my kiwis are 10 grams in total. Now, it's been such a long time since I've made a kiwi, so hopefully it'll all go well. It's all a bit touch and go, you know, because I'm making these and I'm kind of hoping that I get them right. But you know me, I very rarely finish them all off when I'm here. I'm just weighing out exactly 10 grams of clay for the body of the kiwi. So this is how all my wee creatures start. As you know, they all start with just a lump of clay that I weigh out in a very OCD fashion. And then I condition the clay. This clay is Fimo doll clay, noisette or nougat or nugget, however you want to pronounce it. But I really, it's a lovely colour of clay for well, I make the brown mice out of this. I make otters using this mixed with 10% black as well, and that gives it a sort of a nice rich dark colour. Anyway, right, so here we go. This is my Easter Bunny Kiwi, I'm hoping. It's all a bit mad. Right, and I can actually read your comments. Now, this is better because I am now looking at my phone head on, so I'm no longer reading your comments sideways. But I will move this down a wee bit so I'm a bit more centre. Right. And you're saying there's something at the bottom of my screen. Oh, do you know? Oh, actually, I see. Is that the flickering light? That's just the overhead lights. Can't really do very much about that if that's what you're meaning, Audrey. That's my overhead, what do you call them? Fluorescent lights. I never have them on, but I needed to have extra light here. Or shall I try it without? Actually, I'm just going to switch it off. Oh, there's a grey blob. Okay. I don't know what a great blob is. Nicole Ferguson wants to be in your video. I don't know quite what that means, so I'm going to say yes if you can. I'm approving. You can join in the... Oh, what's this? Oh, I don't quite know what... Right, I'll need to look into that to see what the issue is. There's something white and blurry beneath the lights. Is this up here? These lights? I'll need to look back, okay? Loretta, your comments probably read better sideways. I think you might be right. In the nicest possible way. All right, I'm not sure what you're seeing in the camera. It's probably a reflected light somewhere along the way. But I shall double check. I never have the overhead lights on. I only ever have my own angle poise lamps on. And a salt lamp. I have a salt lamp too, which is great. Well, could it be the phone case? No, I've taken the phone case off so that it can go in here. I wonder whether... Does that make a difference? I've slid it up a little bit. Oh well. Anyway, hopefully... Yeah, because the camera's kind of up that way. So I don't know. Not the lights. It's above your hands, like something between you and me and my hands. That's a bit interesting. I mean, all your comments are actually are overlaid between me and my hands, or what I can see of it. So I don't quite know what's going on. Oh, so it's good. Oh, I wonder what I did. Oh, how strange. I wonder, it's got autofocus. So I wonder whether that's got something, maybe there's something which is a bit strange about the autofocus. This kiwi is going to be sitting down, but I'm very, well, I don't know what I did to fix it. The clip thing, the phone was in. Oh, right, okay, so that's what was, it was getting in the way. Oh, do you know, technology. I did say there are usually, and I'm not praying for this, but there are usually gremlins at some way. Oh well, yes, it might just have been that I moved it all up a wee bit. So that's fine. Let's go with that. Right. So he's going to be a wee sitting kiwi, because I do like my sitting kiwis, and they've all got big bums. And I will be scoring him once I've kind of made more of the shape. But for now, he gets his bum cheeks. I do like his bum cheeks. You know, because they don't really have tails or anything. Or I think they might have a vestigial tail. Anyway, so that's his bum for him sitting down, which you'll be able to see. It's quite hard to see from this angle because we are all looking straight down on this little kiwi, which is how I make them, of course. So you're getting a Kirsten eye view of me making a wee creature. And maybe for the next one, I've set the next Brew in a Blether for 2 weeks' time, because in 3 weeks, I've just realised it's only 3 weeks away, it's my birthday. And I'm 25 again with 26 years experience this year, which is always good to know. So I thought I would, rather than, I mean, I don't know whether we've got any plans to go out, but I thought I'd better keep that day free just in case Enrique had some ideas. He might do. Anyway, right, so Loretta, I love big bums and I cannot lie. Now, I'm not going to get that song out of my head. Earworm alert. Oh my word. Do you know, I have had earworms from the music I've been singing all Easter. And we've done a lot of singing, and I appreciate that the kind of music I sing, it's 16th century Renaissance polyphony. Okay, so it's not the sort of thing that's going to get you up dancing on the dance floor, but it has been earworming in my head for quite some time. Right, here we go. Rachel, you're a kiwi. Or is that a bum reference? Oh, well, of course, we went to New Zealand for our honeymoon in 2018. 2018. Oh no, Loretta, don't ask me to sing. No. It's no, I think. But thanks for asking. But no, it's not the sort of thing which kind of works well on its own. It's all 4-part, 5-part harmony. So I really need to have all my pals there. Oh, the big bum. That's the reference. Oh my word. Yes, classical music is incredible. It is wonderful. Nicole, Rachel, I'm sure you do not have a big bum. And if you do, it's just all the comfier for sitting on, basically. That's what it should be. Right, okay, so we've got pretty much the main body for the kiwi, right? And he's looking up at me. Now, all my wee creatures, they always look up. You've got to sort of look at them from above. That's just the way that they're made. And I love it. I love them sort of peering up at me and just seeing how they're getting on. Oh, and Taba's saying, oh, we've got more May birthdays coming up. Carmen's turning 16 on the 16 years old. My goodness. Do you know, happy birthday to her for the 5th when it happens. I left home 4 days after my 16th birthday. I walked out of my house in Alloway in Ayr, up in the southwest coast of Scotland, and I never went back. I took all my stuff out in a wheelbarrow, walked out, went off, left school about 4 months later as well. Then I went back to school to get the qualifications that I needed to go on to university and all the rest of it. So, but you know, I did it on my terms, basically. So, hey, I'm sure Carmen won't do that, but if she doesn't, be thankful, because it does happen. And I am living proof. I'm also living proof that things work out well, even for all those who have teenagers and are, finding it a challenge, so shall we say. It gets better, definitely. I have since apologised to my mum several times, so yes, it's okay. I am now going to cut out the wee wings. Now, they do have vestigial wings rather than proper wings, but they need to have something to hold the egg. It's important, you know, these things are important. Oh, Loretta, so you play? Oh, you play the piano as well. Wonderful. It's something, and in fact, last night, I'm just rolling out the clay for the wings. Last night, because Enrique plays the piano, I play the piano as well. I also play flute, and I play the recorder, and I play all sorts of things, basically. I'm learning the cello, sort of, although I haven't played it for a long time. Flute's my main instrument, I suppose. But we were playing what were we doing? César Franck, or Franck, depends on whether you want to pronounce it in a French way. Our very first date, which was coming up for, oh gosh, it was the 7th of June, 8th of June, we actually went out 7 years ago, and we went to a concert with César Franck and his sonata in A minor for violin and piano. Now, we will never play that ourselves, but we have the music at least. And we were just playing something else by Frank at the same time. Oh, got to catch up with my with comments now. Have I ever thought of making lambs? I have made sheep. I've not knowingly made lambs, actually, which is a bit interesting. Must do, but they're so gorgeous, aren't they? Isn't this just the best time of year? Oh, Audrey, you play flute and you're learning cello as well. Are we? We're in parallel universes. We are, in fact, each other, just in different worlds. That's weird. I love it. Do you know, you're all very clever. And, I'd love to know what everybody else does, because it's fascinating. You know, scratch the surface and everybody has a story to tell. And I love that. It just makes life so interesting. And Alison saying, whenever I hear Franck, I think of Father of the Bride. Is that what's his name? Not Leslie Nielsen. The one who's like Leslie Nielsen. Oh, Steve Martin, isn't it? This is a Steve Martin film, I think. Haven't seen it for ages. Oh, and Audrey's saying, I'm finding it very hard to learn the different key. What, reading it in tenor clef instead of treble or bass clef? Yeah, if that's what you mean, yes, it is. I just don't. I've kind of stopped after first position and then I've moved on to other things. So it is a Steve Martin film, right? I'm now going to cut out, I should probably stop blethering quite so much, but you know what I'm like. I'm now going to cut out the feet, his feet, and the beak. That's what I'm going to do. Right. So for this, I'm using, this clay is Fimo Sculpey Accents, and it's copper. It's got a really nice metallic sheen to it. It's just lovely. And I use, yeah, that's what I use. It's been so long, as I say. So I use these cutters. These are for the feet, okay? These are ultimately going to be the feet. I will actually cut them out properly, but that's how the feet start out, basically. It's all quite interesting, I think, really. And this is how much clay I'm going to use for the beak as well. Let me just move those up there. And, oh, sorry, just reaching over for some of the cutters. The cutters, I have to say, I use an awful lot. Because it just means that you get them consistent. Everything's made entirely, you know, from scratch, but because I'm using a cutter, then they're the same size as everything else. Right, and this is quite stiff black wire. This is what I use for quite a lot of things, actually, which I can't think of off the top of my head. But I'm going to use this for the beak, because the beak is obviously a long protuberance. And did you know, I'm sure you all do know this because you're all very, you know, bright, but male kiwi beaks are straight and female kiwi beaks are slightly curved. We found that when we went out one night for a kiwi hunt. Well, it wasn't a hunt, that makes it sound really bad, but we were in Stewart Island, which is the very southernmost island in New Zealand, so it's like off the coast of South Island. And, oh, I think I actually need to use a larger cutter for this. This is a mouse ear cutter, of course, and also a polar bear paw cutter, as a standing one. It's, yeah, it's, oh, and Nicole's saying, do I make my own cutters? No, I just buy them, basically. And I have recently found another one, which I will tell you all about, at some point. I'm using these are PacPens. I'll tell you all about them because they're just brilliant. Caroline Dixon introduced me to them and I have basically spent a fortune ever since then. But they're just micro cutters. They're fantastic. So I haven't used an awful lot of them. I've used the tiny, in fact, I'll bring it over. This is the holly leaf one. I think I can change the focus. But that's a tiny holly leaf which goes on the back of the Christmas pudding sugar mice. So yes, they are wonderful. I'll tell you more about them because they are worth checking out if you are into clay as well. Kiwi spotting, yes, that's a much better way of saying it, Rachel. Yes, oh, I'll just finish off the kiwi story. And then I want to just say, parenthetically, Alison, wasn't as bad as when your brother was learning the violin. Enrique has tried to learn the violin too, so I empathise deeply. I think that's all I need to say. I love him to bits, and yes, he has other strengths. I think I'll leave him to swim. I think because we were down in Dover. Was it last weekend? Not the Easter weekend. The weekend before, because he swam the channel. Get this, my husband. He swam the channel in 2007, which is incredible. I'm just like so impressed with anybody who does that. But I mean, so he sits on the board of directors for the Channel Swimming Association. And every year we go down to Dover and there's a gala dinner and the presentation of awards for everybody who's swum the channel and the fastest times and all that sort of thing. Which is just amazing. And every year that we go down, he will have a swim in the harbour just for old time's sake. It's really, yes, it's a huge accomplishment. It's amazing. He's my hero. I'm so proud of him. He does so many wonderful things. I'm still in the honeymoon stage, right? That's the beak, by the way. Because he's not going to have an Easter bunny nose. I'm sorry to disappoint anybody who is expecting a kiwi to have an Easter bunny nose, but no. Right, now I'm going to form the toes for this little kiwi. And it's because they've got 3 toes. And they are, oh yes, oh goodness. So this is me. This is me like squirreling all over the place. Squirrel moment. Yeah, so Stewart Island, we ended up, it was like sort of the last few nights of our honeymoon. And we went out in the middle of the night and we were given infrared lights and we were just on the kiwis local patch, and we were so lucky we saw one in the wild. I mean, it was a proper. It wasn't in captivity or anything like that. It was a male kiwi out having a wee hunt for worms on his own, and we saw him, and it was truly, truly marvellous. I'm so blessed, so very lucky that we saw that. So that really was one of the highlights of our trip. It was amazing, and it was after our trip, after our honeymoon, that the first wee Quernus kiwis arrived. And I know that some of you, and certainly Alison, do have a few they've got a few kiwis and who are causing mayhem in the mouse mansion. So this is always good to know. Sorry, this is me just shaping the toes. So as you can see, I'm not sure that I am. And you're saying, so how on earth do I manage to talk and concentrate in your work? I don't think I do. I think my hands just know what they're doing, and I just let them get on with it, basically. Because as you can see, I have squirrel moments left, right, and centre. It's yeah. So my hands just are like, look, you do the blethering, we'll do the work. Don't worry about us. We'll just crack on. So it's one of the reasons that I love listening to what do you call them? Audiobooks. When I'm reading, when I'm working away, because my brain sort of gets busy focusing, concentrating on whatever the books are saying, and my hands just get on with doing this. It's wonderful. This is what basically I am approaching. This June the 30th. Okay, I'll tell you now. There is a big celebration is going to be happening, where I will be celebrating my 13th year of Quernus. So I started Quernus in 2009. And I worked as a qualified lawyer for 13 years. So I'm at that stage where come the 1st of July this year will be the first time ever that I have worked as a wee creature maker. And I'm not sure that's a proper job title, but it does for me. That I've been working as a wee creature maker for longer than I worked as a lawyer. And that makes me very happy. So really, if anybody here is on the cusp and really wants just to do something that's not their day job just now, I can't recommend it enough. I've never been happier. I've never lived my life more fully. And it's just fabulous. Hey, I get to talk to you guys, hang out with you guys, and make kiwi feet. And kiwis, of course. Right. Now, the thing which I need to do, now this is where it all gets a bit strange. Right, so I've made his feet. There we go. I've got his wings there already. I need to put his eyes in now. And this is where they look a bit odd. So first of all, let's see if his nose is the right size. Slightly long. Okay, so I'll just trim it a little bit here with my scalpel. I'm amazed actually that I haven't done myself more mischief with scalpels and all the rest of it. I've had one cut in my finger. There's this you can't really see it, but I've got a sort of a scar there. I wasn't even making at the time. I was cutting potatoes. But I'm careful of my hands. I don't like the idea of anything happening to them, because how would I make wee creatures if I didn't have my hands? They are the tools of the wee creatures. Anyway, right, enough of that blethering. So what I'm going to do now, well, actually, I'm going to just mark up where the eyes go, first of all. I'm also trying to keep half an eye on the time as well, because it's coming up for past, and I don't want to keep you guys longer than usual. So this is me just marking with this is actually a small knitting needle, I think. Now, this is when I think they start to really come to life. Now, I know that you're seeing him from above, but I've just marked on either side. I've marked where his eyes are going to be. So what I will do now, this will be very familiar to you all, these are my eye beads. Now these are just black onyx, round black onyx beads. They do have a hole through them. They are all slightly different sizes, even though these are meant to be between 2.5 millimeters in diameter and 2.7 millimeters. I have asked for them specifically that size, and sometimes I get them that size and sometimes I don't. And I spend time measuring them, making sure that they are the right, yeah, those two are a pretty good match. And the amount of time, I'm being very careful with these because I have on at least 2 occasions cowped the whole lot. That's spilt, by the way, that's Scottish for, you know, if you cowp something, then you spill it, basically, you throw it over. And trying to pick up all these beads off the floor, off a floor that's not very clean and is covered in flob and hair and dirt and dust. Oh, so I'm very careful. And this is me just trying to match up. I'm grabbing the hole running through the bead with the needle nose pliers and then lightly putting it on and pressing them in. And then I will finish pressing them in once I have very carefully put back the beads. That's my little eye holes. And then, right, okay, so weird looking kiwi, okay? I think we can all agree on that. Shame, sorry, covet, well, you actually don't have ears yet, but, so, looks weird. And then I use my ball shaper tool, and this is where it just goes, this is amazing. This is one of the most magical parts of the whole making process. Because I'm just pushing the eyes in, and all of a sudden, he comes to life. Now, I know he doesn't have his nose on yet, just in case anybody was going to spot that. But it really does make them alive. Now, I'm just going to put his nose in too. I will use a tiny dot of liquid clay around the base to create a better join, a stronger join. But this is, I use very sturdy wire for the beaks, basically. And there he is starting to come to life. That's a big beak for an Easter bunny kiwi. So, and all along I'm kind of making sure that his head is the right shape, that he doesn't have too big chops. His nose might be just a fraction too long. So what I can do, I can trim that off towards the end a little bit, or actually I can push it in a little more. Oh, that's better. See, all the time I'm kind of looking and making, you know, keeping an overall eye on the shape and the character, because it's not just whichever part I'm working on at any given time. It's all of it. Right, okay. So there we go. Now, I need to score him. So I am conscious it's now 25 past. So we're into overtime now. But like, wait, this is, his little wings will go on. You see? But he needs to be holding some Easter eggs, and he needs to have his Easter bunny ears. And I may have to finish this on Thursday when I get back, seeing as I'm going to have my road trip to Glasgow tomorrow. So yes, I'll just have to see how I'm going to finish him. But the big thing that I do, that's him with his feet on, by the way. I don't know whether you can see that okay. I haven't glued them on yet, and I won't put them on until I've scored his fur, because this is only part of what I have to do. I now have to basically take a fine needle, comme ça, and then I score very lightly, because you know they're not actually furry, but they have very, very, very short feathers which look like fur. So what I have to do is very carefully, individually, very carefully score all of the individual feathers all over his body, basically. Not in his bum, because he sits in his bum. That's the bottom. His bum cleft will obviously be covered. But basically, this is probably one of the reasons why I don't, kiwis don't hatch terribly often, because they do take quite a lot of making. The actual body shape itself is relatively straightforward, but it's the scoring of the feathers which just... And actually, Loretta, as you're on the call just now, this would be how I would make a narwhal. That, I would make the horn using this same technique. So a narwhal will definitely be made at some point, and I trust that they will know when they want to appear. And then I will have fun when they do, because I would love to get back to making more of the... do you remember I did those, the sea ones? So the sea creatures. So there was an orca, a dolphin. What else did I make? An octopus. I can't remember the other ones I made. There weren't many, and I only made them once, and I really want to make more of them. So yeah, I would imagine that the narwhal will come along at the same time that I do that, undo those. Right, so having done the head quite lightly, I'm now scoring the body a little bit more firmly. And they are so worth it, Alison. You are absolutely right. Nicole, I will certainly give you away from the M6. I will, every time I go past, actually, the turn-off. It's actually, are you the turn-off from the M6? You must be on the M74, I would have thought, for Dumfries. Anyway, now, you can see... It's actually quite warm in the studio. I turned off... I've got air conditioning. Did I tell you? I have air conditioning, which is wonderful. And I don't have it on for much. And it's only when it gets really, really hot, like now, because it's actually really, really hot. It's about 24 or 25 degrees in here. But it does... it's not bad for the clay, but it does make it sticky. And it does mean that it holds fingerprints more. So that's why... I don't normally like holding the wee creatures as much as I am, but I have to, because all his body needs to be scored. So, and of course, the feathers have all got to go in the right direction as well. Now, I'm not just putting them all in exactly the same. I'm kind of doing them at a slight angle, some of them, because that's how feathers would be. You see? And also, I'm not using the point of the needle, I'm using the side. And that again makes for a softer, deeper groove for each of the feathers. So, yes, this is a case of, come back in an hour and I'll have just about finished them. But it will give you a good idea of getting started. And I really, basically, I want to give him a pair of ears now and give an Easter egg for him to hold. Or maybe a basket. I might actually give him a basket to put between his feet. Because actually, in fact, a basket will be better, because his wings, he doesn't really have wings, but they're so short that they can't really hold anything very much. I did make a flying kiwi once, which is so cute. And I just heard him flying, I could just hear him. I can fly. Welcome to my world. It is slightly mad, but it's absolutely, utterly 100% wonderful. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I love what I do. I so love what I do. And I love talking about it, as you can probably tell, because I'm just blethering, and hence why. Brew and the Blether. But without the brew today, and I really was looking forward to a brew. I have a new teacup. Oh, a tea mug. I must show you the mug, but I'll need to do it the next one in 2 weeks, not 3 weeks. So I will show you my new teacup, because I really, really like it. And it was a perfect manifestation, actually. I got it from Tesco's. It was the last one ever, and it was K, and it was flowery. It had a K on it. I mean, that's what I mean. Thank you, Alison. You love what I do too. Well, I'm very glad to hear it because, you know, you guys keep me going. I mean, I would be doing this anyway, I think, really, regardless of whether anybody adopted the wee creatures or not. Obviously, it makes my life rather, you know, a bit easier if I can, if the wee creatures are adopted. That means that I can keep making wee creatures, which is, you know, a good thing in my world, and I hope in yours too, because they make you happy. They make me happy. And I think some of the giggles and the happiness that I feel when I'm making them, and I feel this, you know, every day, I'm so fortunate. I really do count my blessings every day that I'm doing something that I love to do. And I'm sure that that energy, that vibe, stays in them. And it goes out into the world with them. And that's, you know, wow. I mean, how fortunate am I to be able to do this? So, yeah, I am really, really very happy. Oh, and Nicole has just confirmed, yes, the M74 and then the A75, that's right. And then I would just carry on up the road to my dad's, actually. He's in near Kilmarnock in Ayrshire. But tomorrow I think it'll just be a straight up the M74 to Glasgow Centre, I should say. Gosh, do you know, it's quite soporific doing this. It's quite therapeutic and quite zen, really, when you start scoring kiwis, giving them feathers, basically, and making sure that the feathers all go in the right direction as well. Because that's one thing, I do love it. I love them to have internal consistency. You know, I don't just like sticking legs on. I mean, obviously I'll be sticking the feet on, but everything else is shaped from one piece of clay, apart from the beak, obviously, but the head, the legs, the bum. How cute is that little bum? In fact, let me just finish scoring him now, because I can make his bum cleft a little bit more pronounced. And sometimes when it's hot like this, if I'm holding it, that can sometimes smudge out some of the markings. So I just need to go in or go back over them a little bit. But again, making sure that it's all going in the right direction so that there's internal consistency. If I was I do say this quite often, but if I was pretentious enough to have an artist statement, it would be something like, the wee creatures I make interact with their environment and have internal consistency whilst occupying a world of cuteness. Something totally poncy like that. But yeah, you know, so I think that's one of the reasons why they have retained and built upon their charm all over the years. Right, so Trace is asking, who is this little chap? This is the start of the Easter Kiwi bunny, okay, as you do. And you're asking if the side of the beads with the holes are being pressed into the clay. Yes. So I'm holding the bead so I'm pushing it in with the holes on either side. So it's only the plain, you can't see the hole basically, you see? Oh, and that's a good way of showing you the markings, which are pretty much nearly done now, actually. Lightly. I better not touch it anymore. Right. Okay. What do you say? Right. So it's 9:15 now. Shall I finish it? Shall I go? Or because I really should be getting back home, but it's just so exciting, and I won't be in the studio tomorrow. So actually, I'm just going to carry on. And if you have other things to do, which I can understand, go do them, and I'll still just be here, and I'll be as quick as I can, basically. So I'm just putting on some this medium extender. Apparently it's something that artists use for mixing with what's it called? Oil paints. But it's very good at joining raw clay to raw clay. So there you go. You live and learn. So this is me just putting his paws, feet. Yeah, what if birds' feet are just called birds' feet, aren't they? I mean, they're not paws or anything, are they? Claws? Talons? Can't imagine a kiwi having talons, but... And again, it's sort of making sure that he actually does look as though he's sitting down. There we go. Always making me smile, he really is. Right, I'm going to very quickly... Oh, I just need to make sure that his nose doesn't get bent out of shape. You'll see him better that way when I tilt him back, because of course we're looking from the top down on this wee guy. I'm just going to very quickly make him a pair of bunny ears. Make sure he's sitting forward far enough for this. Oh, and he has a bit of clay. Out of position, don't need that. Right, there we go. Right, now, question is, do I give him a band? I think I do have to give him a band, which I have done before. So when I have made Easter bunny creatures like penguins and whatnot, and guinea pigs, and given them Easter bunny ears, then I have done that. I've given them a little band, rather than just sticking them on the head, which just looks a bit odd and doesn't have... repeat after me. It's, yeah, internal consistency. This is the Easter bunny kiwi, Tracy, not an anteater. It's a kiwi, the bird, the flightless bird from New Zealand, who's going to be the Easter bunny, or he's going to be the Easter kiwi. So it's just, you know, I don't know. He was just in my head today. I don't know why. Because I know I've hardly made any Easter creatures this year, which is odd and not like me at all. But yeah, so maybe that's why he wanted to come out. So I'm now going to use my oval cutters to yeah, they're big enough. There we go. So these are going to be the Easter bunny ears, and actually, do you know, I recently got these are the new the PacPen things. They have exchangeable nozzles which are just absolutely fantastic. And then screw on the end, and then once you cut it out, it's got a little plunger so you can pop it out. It's great. And you're right, actually. I think Aquarius Anteater is a bit of a must, really. I have recently been making badgers. Not badgers. Oh, beavers. Lorna knows all about the beavers. So, yeah, I think the time is coming for me to make different wee creatures. You know, some of the rarer ones that I would not otherwise, that aren't part of the canon, as it were, quite yet. So, I haven't used this cutter yet, but hey, you get to see it in action, which is fabulous. So, this is just a very... You've got to be careful with it because it's 3D printed, but so it's quite fragile, but excellent, absolutely excellent. So this is just for making the inner ears for the Easter bunny, but well, Easter kiwi. So yeah, I just, you know, Easter kiwi, why not? It's just, why not? There's just no other way of putting it, I think. So having trimmed or cut out these little bits of inner ear clay, I'm now just lightly teasing it to stretch it so that it reaches the full length of the ear. Comme ça. There we go. So I do this with bunnies. All the bunnies that I do, they go through the same process, but with larger ears, obviously. So again, clay is just fabulous. Can I just say, I love polymer clay. It's eternally fascinating in my mind. So just by pulling it, it becomes more stretchy. You can actually stretch it without it breaking if you know how you're doing it, basically. Right, okay. So now I have to shape them, which I will do with one of my bigger clay shapers. So this is where I'm just pushing it in to form the bunny ear shape. Pushing it in. I know this is where my brain and my head my mouth disconnects a little bit, where, you know, I'm kind of needing to do something to concentrate, and so my mouth comes out with just rubbish sometimes, so apologies for that. Oh, Pachelbel would be a great name for one of the Canon creatures, eh? Lovely. Yes, Pachelbel's Canon, which actually I know that a lot of cellists, and Audrey, you might agree with this, a lot of cellists curse the day that Pachelbel wrote his the Canon in D minor, but actually that's one of the few things I can play, so I'm quite happy that I can play the cello part for Pachelbel's Canon. Anyway, right, so again, just shaping. Now, for the bigger ears that I make, for the bunny ears that I do, I actually did make myself an ear shaper, which is here, which is just 2 bits of scrap clay shaped with the inside of the bunny ears. Obviously, it's too big for kiwi bunny ears, but that's what I use for pressing out the shape of bunny ears. Oh, right, Alison, very, very nice. Pachelbel's Canon at the wedding. It is indeed very much a wedding-y sort of piece. It's lovely. It's really lovely. It's a shame that a lot of the classical music that has become, dare I say, a bit hackneyed, you know, just through overuse, because people love it so much. It's you know, that, and it's a shame because it's really good and very popular for a reason, you know. It's anyway. Right, I must be quick. It's now 10 to 9. Goodness me. Right, I'm just going to quickly. I've got just a little bit of clay here. I'm going to roll it out quite thinly. Yes. So I've rolled it out on a 6, level 6 out of 9 settings, I think. I can't remember what. I think it's an Atlas machine I have. But my pasta machine is definitely one of my must-have tools, essential tools for the workshop. So now I'm just cutting with my tissue blade, which is another essential tool, and making sure that there's no flob on it, like that. And this is just to go over the top of the kiwi's head. And I think probably about there. So this is like, it's like a hairband, but it's going to be a bunny ear band, basically. So, and just making sure that it's even on both sides. That's good. And then just quickly, I'm going to cut off the bottom of the ears like that, and slightly push it in, and then I'm putting on more of this. I must get some more. As you can see, it's a bit sort of, I'm down to the last ends, but it seems to, it just doesn't end, this stuff. It goes on and on and on forever, but it's remarkable for strengthening raw clay to raw clay. So, and I'm just roughening up the base of the ear as well, so that it gives a better adherent surface, I think would be the technical term. And I'm sorry, I'm not keeping up with the comments at the moment. This is one point which I do have to concentrate. Oh, right, what do kiwis eat with a nose like that? Very good question. And I think it's bugs, but they, you know, their beaks do open. I mean, it's not quite as long as this one is, but they are still pretty long. But yeah, it's kind of bugs that they eat. I think they're omnivores. I think that would be the term. Right, getting out, Rachel, you'll recognise these. Rachel very kindly sent me a batch of, those are little baby wipes, which I use all the time. Like, I can't tell you. And I've tried lots of the baby wipes, but this is how I keep the clay clean. Not so much free of fingerprints, but they're very good, and they're not really very fluffy. They don't shed a lot of fibres, which is what you want basically when you're wiping clay. So ears are going on now. Who's giggling? Oh, that would be me. Right, because of course he's got to have a bunny tail as well. That was one thing actually. Yeah, I said this at the beginning. Fred O'Hare in Hop. Yeah, if he's going to be the assistant Easter Bunny, then yeah, he should have gone through metamorphic changes, genetically modified, as Carlos did. Right. And this is me just pushing the clay down, because obviously the ears will be the most vulnerable. Sorry, I don't know whether you can still see that okay. I'm now peering over the top of my glasses so that I can see him close up. There we go. I think we can have one ear up and one ear slightly bent over like that. Yes, that works. And now I need to affect his little bum cleft to an extent, because he's going to have a little, you'll have a little Easter bunny thing, and that will be a proper fluffy pom-pom that I will use for that. Right, so gosh, I need a basket. That's the next thing. So if you just keep an eye on him, right? I'll put him like that. So no. What's the best way that you can see him? Probably like that. Oh, can't do it. I'm just going to get a basket. Right. These are, sorry. That's very rude of me, just walking away in the middle of a chat here. These little baskets, I used them, you may remember, when I was making the little Easter bunnies, Easter mice for the Squeak Show back in, oh actually, I wonder whether he might need to carry that on his beak, actually, now that I see it. That may go on once it's baked. These come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. I'm conscious actually that the beak is going to be slightly over. But that's not bad actually. Right. So I could press that in a little bit. Oh, that's not bad. We can pretend that he's got his. Now I will put a little Easter egg in later. I won't put it in just now. But he needs his wings done as well. So, gosh, I did have one squished out. I wonder what I've done with it. It's probably sitting on it. That often happens, actually. Sometimes I'll be like, what have you done with your wing or your paw or your tail? And they're sitting on it. It's like, goodness, can't take them anywhere. Right, okay. So I'm not quite sure. I think actually, if he's holding the basket with his beak, I mean, it's not actually even touching it. I don't know whether you can see that. It's not touching the basket, but it kind of looks as though it might be. And then we can put his little wing could just be off out to the side because he's like really excited that he's wearing. He's the Easter bunny and he's going, yay, I'm the Easter bunny, but I'm an Easter Kiwi. And then he can have the egg in there. So I still need to score his wings, which to be honest, I'll end up doing this, finishing him off tonight before I go. And poor Enrique will be waiting at home for his dinner. He'll be waiting for me to come home. I do feel a bit guilty, but not so guilty that I'm actually going to stop. I'm just going to keep doing this. But you guys all have to go as well. This was only supposed to be half an hour. But this is what happens. You know, I work best. I have to say, I do work best at this time of night. I don't know whether it's just kind of, oh, I've procrastinated all day, so I'd better get on and be productive, and then I can be very productive when I'm up against it time-wise. So same process for the wings as I did for the body, but slightly easier because they're not attached yet. I will need to score them into the join when I'm there. Once they're on, which I will do now. So I'm just using a dot of liquid polymer clay. I do use both. I use them separately. There we go. I'll explain why and when I use them differently at some point, but not tonight. Because I have whiffled on quite enough. But it's been a pleasure, always a pleasure. And he will be finished off, this little chap will be finished off. Right, oh, sorry, and there have been lots of messages whilst I've been sitting here. Oh gosh, I'll need to go back through all of them to begin with. Right, I think I'm done. I think he's as done as I can do him just tonight anyway, but he's a very excited little kiwi, who is delighted that he's been in the process of being made in front of you guys. I will put his little fluffy pom-pom tail on. Oh, you can see that it's because it's warm in here. Some of his feathers are starting to fade out a little bit with me touching him. So I'll finish fluffing him up, because kiwis do like to be fluffed, you know. Don't we all? Don't we all? And then, and what I'll do actually, I will glue, oh, there we go. I'm going to glue this basket in place, because basically anything, virtually all things can go in the oven when I'm making it. So I'm just putting a bit of glue to join, in fact, and I'll just trim, there's just a little rough bit on the basket, so I'm just using plain white, I don't know what it's called, just craft glue, but that's strong enough to hold it in place. The polymer clay would do it justice as well. There we go. And then I can bake them like that, because as I said, virtually everything you can put in the oven, because it bakes at such a low temperature. Bakes at 110 degrees or so, which, you know, and if you think about the burning point of paper, which is Fahrenheit 451, for those of you who all know your Ray Bradbury novels. But I will add a little Easter egg, probably one of the little plastic ones, but I might make a special one. We'll see how I get on then. But thank you from both me and little Easter Kiwi. Happy Easter to you all. It's been a delight, and I'll see you all later. All right. See you soon. Bye.